I love reading synopsis because I feel like I really get into character. Let's see what book comes up. The little blurb on here says, grave robbing is a messy business, a bad business. Hide, a graphic novel. Ooh, I know exactly which one that is because it just looks so magical and the characters on this book cover are just, you guys need to pick this book up, especially if you are a fan of just like Regency England. This is giving me Sherlock Holmes vibes, Elona Holmes vibes, and I'm here for it. I have here my poor little dying candle that the birthday candle company had sent to me, and it's on its last few limbs, but it smells so good. Gonna light that up and put it in the background so we can get a nice little cozy ambiance. I've already been sipping away at my coffee. Happy April, friends! I am sharing the first video for here on YouTube for the month of April, and I am so excited. April is one of those months where we're going to be experiencing some sunny days and some showers, and today I woke up and sure enough, it's raining. And yesterday was a beautiful day. Well, half of the day was very sunny, and then in the afternoon there were just clouds, and then today some showers. But I guess that's the beauty of April. You're living kind of in this transitional moment, so it's nice. So friends, today I bring you a very exciting video. I am going to be sharing with you all the books that I'm going to be reading for, I suppose, the spring season. I want to say for April, but maybe some of these books are going to roll over for the next month or so. I'm just trying to curate a nice little book list of books that I'm going to be reading for, I suppose, the spring season. And I'm sure I'm just going to be adding to this list as the months go on, but I want to get a head start on this because we are already, what, a week into the spring season, so I'm a little late. I, of course, already picked out some books that I personally want to read for the spring season, but also Mr. Fox here is joining us so he can let me know what other books I am going to be reading for this month and the spring season. Mr. Fox is my TBR jar, by the way, you guys, if you guys didn't know. He holds all of my unread books, and there are quite a bit. My physical unread books. Now, I will say that this spring season I am craving more just softer types of novels, more witty and quirky types of novels. I don't know what it is about the spring season, but it just gets me in a very playful mood, and I just want to read like a combination of just fluffy and romance and witty, and I guess just easily consumable novels. And by that I mean books that are not too hard to understand, books that I can just have a good time with. I guess like low stakes books, maybe that's what I'm referring to. Books that just don't take a lot of energy out of me to read, because there are books out there that you're just reading and reading and you're just like, whoa, what is happening? Or whoa, there's just so much going on. I want to read right now. I'm craving a good stack of books that are just fluffy and easy and that can take me on a fun little adventure. So I do have, I think, let's see, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 books that I already know that I'm going to be reading for the month of April, and I guess adding to my spring TBR. But also I'm going to pick a few from Mr. Fox here and see what comes up. So I suppose we can start off with Mr. Fox, and then I'll move on to the books that I have already picked out that I'm going to be reading for this month and so forth. But before we move into the video, friends, I just want to remind you that if you like these kinds of videos, to please engage, like, subscribe. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm and I would very much appreciate it. I have a goal to make it to 5,000 subscribers this year. I am almost to 2,000 subscribers and it's so exciting. So your engagement would really help out my channel and I would really appreciate it. With that being said, friends, grab something cozy to drink, grab some water, grab some snacks, and let's talk about some books. All right, we're going to give Mr. Fox a good shake. I always look forward to picking out books for Mr. Fox because it just feels like I am giving myself a gift. You just don't know what you're gonna get, and I suppose that's the fun part of it. I do eventually want to do book prompts because I only wrote the titles of all my physical unread books in here. So eventually I want to do like book prompts. That way I can pick out a prompt from here and then I have the flexibility to go and pick out the book I want. Okay, I think that was a good little shake right there. So let's see what book comes up. All right, we have our contender here. What does that say? The accidental afterlife of... The accidental afterlife of... I really did not finish that sentence. What is that book? Oh, of Thomas Marsden. Why did I not write the entire book title? I guess because it just didn't fit, but I don't know what I was thinking this day, but I know exactly what this book is. I actually thrifted this book, but let me go find it. I think I know where this is at. Okay, guys, I'm actually very excited for this book. This is The Accidental Afterlife of Thomas Marsden by Emma Trevane. Tell me why when I first picked this book up, I was like, oh, is that a Neil Gaiman book? And I've been wanting to stack up my Neil Gaiman books because it looked like something that he would have written, especially because of the book cover. It kind of gave me the Graveyard book vibes, but it wasn't a Neil Gaiman book. But it still sounded so good. The little blurb on here says, grave robbing is a messy business, a bad business. And for Thomas Marsden, on what was an unremarkable spring night in London, it becomes a very spooky business, for lying in an unmarked grave and half covered with dirt is a boy-spitting image of Thomas himself. This is only the first clue that something very strange is happening. Others follow, but it is a fortune teller's frightened screams that lead Thomas into a strange world of spiritualist, death, and fairy folk. Fairy folk with whom Thomas' life is bizarrely linked. Fairy folk who need his help. Desperate to unearth the truth about himself and where he comes from, Thomas is about to discover magic and ritual, and that sometimes, just sometimes, the things that make a boy ordinary are what make him extraordinary. Honestly, you guys, this sounds like something that is just so up my alley, and I am so happy that this came up because, like I mentioned, I am not feeling, or I'm not in the mood this spring season to be reading something too hard. I just want to go on a fun little adventure. I am so excited to see what's going to happen, and honestly this kind of goes with the vibe of my other books that I already picked out. It fits the theme of what I'm going for this spring season and the books that I want to read for April. I didn't even tell you guys how many books I'm going to pick from Mr. Fox. I don't know. Should we do... Let's do one more, just because I already have 5 other books that I need to share with you guys. So I guess a total of 7 for this spring TBR, April TBR. All right, so let's give Mr. Fox a good shake and let's get in here and see. Let's see what comes up. We already had a really good first one, so let's see. Ooh, these are stuck. Oh no, this is not stuck. Okay. Hide! A graphic novel. Ooh, I know exactly which one that is. Okay, I got this one actually not that long ago, and I have been very excited to read this. And you know what? I know this is not gonna give spring vibes because this is actually like a spooky carnival type of book, but I am excited that this came out because I have 2 other graphic novels that I picked up for my spring-April TBR that I'm going to be reading, and maybe now I can do a whole vlog of reading graphic novels with you guys. That would be fun because now I have a 3rd one added. I'll share the other 2 in a bit with you guys, but this one is called Hide, and this is by Kirsten White, adapted by Scott Peterson, illustrated by Veronica and Andy Fish. And the little blurb in the back says, a high-stakes hide-and-seek competition comes to life in this stunningly illustrated graphic novel, which, by the way, it is beautifully illustrated, but this is giving more, I guess, spooky vibes, which honestly I am not mad at because I am a spooky girl year-round. I love autumn season, I love the fall vibes, and maybe I just need to throw something in there to shake things up a bit to my spring TBR. The synopsis says, the challenge: spend a weekend hiding in an abandoned amusement park and don't get caught. The prize, enough money to change everything. Even though everyone is desperate to win, to seize a dream future or escape a haunting past, Mac is sure she can beat her competitors. All she has to do is hide, and she's an expert at that. It's the reason she's alive and her family isn't. But as the people around her begin disappearing one by one, Mac realizes that this competition is even more sinister than she imagined, and that together might be the only way to survive. 14 competitors, 7 days, everywhere to hide but nowhere to run. Come out wherever you are. This sounds good, you guys. Okay, in no way is this spring, okay? In no way is this giving spring vibes, but I feel like it's the little dash of spooky to spice things up in your spring TBR, because if you are a fan of spooky season like I am, then we don't just read spooky during autumn season, we read spooky year-round, okay? Okay, so Mr. Fox gave us The Accidental Life of Thomas Marsden and Hide, which are perfect because I feel like these are going to be fun and easy books to just dive into for the spring season and for my April TBR, so I am so happy with these. All right, Mr. Fox, thank you for your cooperation today. We're going to put you back over here. All right, friends, so now moving on to the other books that I'm going to be reading that I had already picked out. I actually borrowed 2 from my Libby, and these are both, well, one is in audiobook format and the other one I'm reading on my Kindle through my Libby app. So these 2 books I actually shared on one of my most recent videos. It was my spring things to enjoy this spring season. So the first one that I am going to be reading that I shared on that video is The Benevolent Society of Ill-Mannered Ladies by Alison Goodman. I have been wanting to read this book for the longest time because right now I am really into period pieces. All I want to do is read period pieces, watch movies that are set in a period setting, TV shows, everything that has to do with just like maybe the 1800s, the Victorian era. That is really on the bandwagon that I'm on right now, and this just sounds so good. And on top of that, it is a murder mystery, and I think the main protagonists, I think they're on their 40s. It's like 2 twin sisters and they're in their 40s, and I am here for centering main characters that are in their 30s and 40s. You don't really read about that often. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love, you know, reading about our main characters being in their 20s, teens. That is fun, but I want to make more of an effort to read more characters, or to find books that center characters in their 30s and 40s, because that makes me feel so seen. And it's a good change. So, The Benevolent Society of Ill-Mannered Ladies by Alison Goodman. This is a historical fiction, mystery, romance, and Regency. And the synopsis says, Lady Augusta Colebrook, Gus, is determinedly unmarried, bored by society life, and tired of being dismissed at the age of 42. She and her twin sister Julia, who is grieving her dead betrothed, need a distraction. One soon presents to rescue their friend's goddaughter, Caroline, from her violent husband. The sisters set out to Caroline's county estate with a plan, but their carriage is accosted by a highwayman. In the scuffle, Gus accidentally shoots and injures the ruffian, only to discover he is Lord Evan, Evan Belford, an acquaintance from their past who was charged with murder and exiled to Australia 20 years ago. What follows is a high adventure full of danger, clever improvisation, heart-racing near misses, and a little help from a revived and rather charming Lord Evan. Back in London, Gus can't stop thinking about her unlikely, not to mention husband, comrade in arms. She is convinced Lord Evan was falsely accused of murder, and she is going to prove it. She persuades Julia to join her in a quest to help Lord Evan and others in need. Society be damned. And so begins the begilding secret life and adventures of the Colebrook twins. This is giving me Sherlock Holmes vibes, Elona Holmes vibes, and I'm here for it because I love Elona Holmes and Sherlock Holmes. So I'm really excited to read this book, and it just sounds so witty and up my alley, and who doesn't love a good murder mystery? Or in this case, I guess it wouldn't be really much of a murder mystery, or I don't know yet, maybe just more so a mystery, but who doesn't like a good mystery book? Now the next book that I am going to be reading that I already borrowed on my Libby, and this is in an audiobook format, is 10,000 Stitches by Olivia Atwater. I recently read Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater, and that is also like a sort of Regency fairy tale type of book, and I actually really enjoyed that book. I didn't think that I was going to enjoy that book as much as I did, but I really loved it. And so I got introduced to Olivia Atwater's works, and I started researching some of her other books, and sure enough I came across so many other ones, and 10,000 Stitches sounds so good, and it kind of sounds a little bit like Half a Soul, but not really. But it is also set in Regency England, and it just sounds like a really good book to read for the spring season. You know, fairies and Regency England just sounds like a good storyline for the spring season, so that is why I'm adding this to this TBR. So the synopsis says, Regency housemaid Euphemia Reeves has acquired a fairy godfather. Unfortunately, he has no idea what he's doing. Effie has most inconveniently fallen in love with the dashing Mr. Benedict Ashbrook. There's only one problem: Effie is a housemaid, and a housemaid cannot marry a gentleman. It seems that Effie is out of luck until she stumbles into the fairy realm of Lord Blackthorn, who is only too eager to help Effie win Mr. Ashbrook's heart. All he asks in return is that Effie sew 10,000 stitches onto his favorite jacket. Effie has heard rumors about what happens to those who accept help from fairies, but life as a maid at Hartfield is so awful that she is willing to risk even her immortal soul for a chance at something better. Now she has 100 days and 10,000 stitches to make Mr. Ashbrook fall in love and propose, if Lord Blackthorn doesn't wreck things by accident, that is. For Effie's greatest obstacle might well prove to be Lord Blackthorn's overwhelmingly good intentions. So it is kind of giving Half a Soul vibes, and I am not mad at it because, like I mentioned, I absolutely adored Half a Soul. So I am pretty sure I am also going to be enjoying 10,000 Stitches. And the audiobook, I believe, is only like 9 hours, so I could easily get through this in a day. Alright friends, so those were the 2 books that I borrowed on my Libby and for my Kindle. Now moving on to physical books that I went ahead and picked out myself from my bookshelves, because I am just so excited to read these books. So this next one I picked up recently, and it is a fairly new release. I think this came out in February, I believe. And the book cover, you guys, if I could jump into any book cover, it would probably be this one, because it just looks so magical, and the characters on this book cover are just, they're gorgeous. Look at this. This is Lore of the Wilds by Annalise Sabrana, and look at that beautiful cover. It's just giving magic and fae and foresty, and I just want to get lost in this story this spring season. Look at the back too. This book cover is just absolutely stunning. It says, an abandoned library with deadly enchantment, a fae lord who will do anything to get in, a brave human woman, a collector of stories willing to risk it all for a taste of knowledge and power. Dun dun dun. This sounds so good. Okay, I love reading synopsis because I feel like I really get into character. Don't judge me. It says here, in a land ruled by ruthless fae, 21-year-old Lore Alemeyu's village is trapped in a forested prison. Lore knows that any escape attempts is futile. Her scars are a testament to her past failures, but when her village is threatened, Lore makes a desperate deal with a fae lord. She convinces him that she will risk her life for wealth, but really she's after the one thing that the fae covet above all, magic of her own. As Lore navigates the hostile world outside, she's forced to rely on two fae males to survive. When undeniable chemistry ignites, she's not just in danger of losing her life, but also her heart to the very creatures she can never trust. I love a good forbidden love triangle type of trope, and this is giving me just that. And also a magical forest and magical hidden libraries. And our main character's name is Lore. This is what I'm talking about just these whimsical elements added to a storyline that I can just get lost in this spring season. And this is just giving me all of that. That's why I went ahead and just picked out this book, because I was like, I cannot wait for Mr. Fox to just deliberately tell me to read this. I need to go and make my own choices and pick this book up. All right, you guys, so now moving on to the life of the party of this vlog. I recently picked up these two books and they are giving me all of the spring vibes that I am craving this spring season, and oh, I cannot wait to dive into these. And they are both graphic books. If you've been here on my channel for a while, you would know that I am a fan of middle grade books and graphic books. Those are just my favorite go-tos when I just need something easy and fun and quirky to read, and these two books that I'm about to share with you are just that. Plus, this spring season really calls, I don't know, for me, it really calls to just do things for my inner child that she would want to read and do, and these books are exactly the kinds of books that maybe 12-year-old Kim would be ecstatic to read. Let me share them with you. The first one I have already shared in that one video. I keep mentioning my spring things recommendation video, and that is Anne, an adaptation of Anne of Green Gables, sort of, by Kathleen Gross. I love Anne of Green Gables. I've mentioned that 100 times on this channel. She is my kindred spirit. We are so much alike, and I could seriously watch the movie, the show, like over and over again on replay. And I would never get bored of it because she's so witty and such a beautiful character that you never get tired of reading about Anne. I finally got a retelling of Anne of Green Gables, and it is this more contemporary type of book, which is different for me because I don't really read contemporary books. I am more so of a fantasy reader, but because it's my girl Anne, I was like, who cares? So like I mentioned, this is a retelling of Anne of Green Gables, and it says Anne Shirley has bounced around foster homes for as long as she can remember. So when siblings Marilla and Matthew Cuthbert take her in, she hopes it's for good. The Cuthberts seem cool, but how will they react to the trouble that Anne can sometimes find herself in, like accidentally dyeing her hair green or taking a dangerous dare that leaves her in a cast? The Cuthberts also introduce Anne to Diana Barry, a girl who lives in their apartment building, the Avonlea. Diana shows Anne around school, and the two become fast friends. Anne can share anything with Diana: her fears about never being adopted, her sketchbook art that no one else has seen, and her annoyance with Gilbert, a boy who teases Anne endlessly. As time goes on though, Anne starts to develop more than friends feelings for Diana. With the winter dance on the horizon, Anne wants to ask Diana to go with her. But what if Diana doesn't feel the same way? A new foster home, a new school, and a first-time crush? It's a lot all at once, but if anyone can handle life's twists and turns, it's the irrepressible Anne Shirley. This sounds so good, you guys. A little love twist story with Anne and Diana. I am so excited to read this, and look at the fun art in here. It looks so good. And I believe that this author, Kathleen Gross, does graphic contemporary retellings of classics. I think she has one of Little Women, and I think it's called Jo from Little Women, and I also want to get that one, but I went first with Anne because Anne is my all-time favorite girl. So I'm excited to read this one. Now this next book is also a graphic novel, and I have been wanting to pick this book up for a while now, but I had quite a bit of bad luck coming across it at my local bookstores until finally I found it at Barnes & Nobles, and I was like, I need to take that with me ASAP. I have heard so many great things about this book. I've heard that it's quirky, it is funny, it is set in Regency England, and the author did mention in her like author bio when you're reading about her on the book, it says that she grew up watching Pride and Prejudice, and that sort of inspired her to write this book. Immediately I was like, yes, let me take that with me now. And that book is The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich by Dea Muniz. Look at this, you guys. And the title is just funny. You know what? I love titles that really have you second guessing or like really thinking about what, like, it's just like a quirky random title. Like this one, The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich, and then another one is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. Like those are just funny titles. I love a good funny title like that, that really just, that one title has you cracking up, and it's because of the title that you end up buying the book. So this is one of those, okay? And it just looks so good. So listen to this. Lady Cambert wants to live life on her own terms without marriage. Well, without marrying a man, that is. But the law of the land is that family fortunes cannot be passed down to women. So when her father passes away, she does the only thing she can. She disguises herself as a man and moves to the capital city in the kingdom of Fromage to start over as Count Camembert. But it's hard to keep a low profile when the beautiful Princess Brie, with her fierce activism and great sense of fashion, catches Cam's attention. Cam can't resist getting to know the princess, but as the two grow closer, will she be able to keep her secret? And then the little blurb on here says, readers will devour this romantic comedy about mistaken identity, true love, and lots of grilled cheese. This just sounds so funny, you guys. And then the art also, I love looking at beautiful art, and this, like, it's just giving all the spring vibes. Like, why you guys need to pick this book up, especially if you are a fan of just like Regency England. Like this, look at that art. It's so beautiful, so springy, the colors. It's just a perfect book to read this spring season, in my opinion. This one and Anne, these right here are the life of the party for this video, you guys. I'm just so excited to read both of these books, all of the books I mentioned on here, but especially these two. And I think I am going to be doing maybe a reading vlog on these. Maybe I'll throw in the spooky one that Mr. Fox said I have to read this month. I don't know, maybe we'll make a whole graphic novel vlog. Let me know if you guys would like that. I would definitely do that if you guys want me to do that. So let me know down in the comments below if you guys would want to watch a vlog where I just read graphic novels. I think that would be fun. So friends, here's my little stack of books that I'm going to be reading for this spring season, my April TBR, and of course my other two books, which is The Benevolent Society of Ill-Mannered Ladies and also 10,000 Stitches. I am just so excited to get into these, you guys. It's gonna be such a good reading month and spring season, and I'm gonna continue adding to this springish TBR. I might not even finish all of these books this month, but it gives me a good stack to pick from to start off this spring season. With that being said, friends, I want to thank you so much for being here. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you would be willing to read any of the books I have mentioned on here, or if you have read them. Let me know what you thought about them. No spoilers, please, but let me know if you did read them, what you thought about them. Thank you again, friends, for watching. Please remember to engage with my videos, subscribe, comment, like, share. It really helps me out, and I would be so appreciative of you. Also, if you want to be reminded of when I post videos, make sure you hit the bell button somewhere in your screen. There's some bell notification that you can hit. That way you can be notified whenever I do post a video, because I have some really fun videos in the works for the spring season, and I don't want you to miss out. With that being said, friends, please remember that you can create the life that you want because you so deserve it. I will be seeing you all in a video very soon. Take care and bye for now.